Get to making with jive for station. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes, you shall. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, yes, you shall. When it hits you, yes, indeed, yes, indeed, yes, you holler, yes. 1, 2, 3.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thanks for joining us today on the Site Review. Hey, if you're hanging out with us on Zoom, welcome. And for those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, welcome as well. Go ahead and say hi to us in the chat. Let us know where you're from. We always love to hear who's watching, where you guys are watching from and hanging out with us. And as always, if you are a return viewer, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us week after week on our live streams. Now, if you guys don't know how Site Review Tuesday works, if this is your first time hanging out with us, I'm going to explain really quick how it works. Those of you guys who know how it works, you know what to do. Go ahead and get a number in the chat, 1 through 110. Now, here is how Site Review Tuesday works. We're going to review 3 websites absolutely live today. Each website is going to get 15 minutes per review. The third and final site that we review is going to be coming from one of you guys who are hanging out with us in the live stream. So whether you're on Zoom or hanging out with us on YouTube right now, there'll be a link that will go in the chat. So if I could get Katie to throw that link in the chat for both of you guys to submit your site. If you haven't submitted your site for review yet, go ahead and hit that link up and get your site in there. Now, as always, we're going to be giving points, but we're not really keeping score. There's not a winner or anything like this. Everybody's a winner when we kind of talk about your site and give you some ideas and things that you can do to improve that site. Now, if you're totally confused as to what these numbers are when I say throw a number out, I want to kind of take a second and explain how that works. So anytime somebody submits a website for review through that site submission link, what happens is that goes into a form that assigns those websites random numbers in an order of a kind of a string. It's really weird to explain. So you don't actually get to see your website's number. That's why I tell you guys to throw a number out in chat. That way these sites that we pull have been randomly selected by you guys hanging out with us, and we're not pulling anything showing any kind of favoritism or anything like that. So the sites are randomly selected that way. All right. Okay. So hanging out with me today, taking care of you guys in chat, both on YouTube and Zoom. Make sure you show Katie some love. She does a great job jumping on here week after week with me, helping me pronounce people's names, making sure that I don't talk way too much, and helping you guys there in chat. So I really appreciate Katie hanging out with me week after week on Site Review Tuesday. Make sure you show her some love there in chat. And then as far as announcements go, this week on Zenfolio Live, we are going to be talking about branding and web design with and that is, I didn't did I update the notes? No, I didn't. I updated the notes on my slide, but not on this screen. So that's confusing. So let me face this direction and read the notes. This week on Zenfolio Live, we're going to be talking about branding and web design with Sherry Warren of Warren Creative Design. So she's going to come hang out with us on Thursday. We're going to talk about things like logo conceptualization, branding versus design, get into a lot of those kinds of things and talk really deep in detail about that stuff. So if you're in the process of giving your business a rebranding, maybe you're just getting started in photography and you're like, I want to design my own logo, or I'm looking for somebody to design a logo or help me with my website or something like that. She also does web design specifically for Zenfolio and logo design as well. So it'll be a great live stream to come hang out with us on. That's happening this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. The next bullet point on there is from last week, so we can skip that one. And then as always, guys, we continue to encourage you guys to share your photos on Instagram, on Facebook. Make sure that you're sharing your beautiful photos. Throw some captions in there. Do something to lift somebody's day up, to make our social media feeds a little bit more lighthearted. I don't know about you guys, but I've been having a hard time staying on social media because the feeds seem to be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty disheartening. And so I love seeing you guys share your photos. And while you're doing that, make sure that you use that hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance for that photo to be featured on one of our social media platforms. Now let's see, hanging out with us on Zoom, we've got Atala. One of these days I'm going to get it right, but keep coming back and hanging out with us. I appreciate you hanging out with us here on Zoom. Brianna, Eduardo, Olu, Stan, and William. So thank you guys for hanging out with us on Zoom. And then over on YouTube, we've got photography by Ginger, Noel, Nicholas, Doug, and let's see, and Lynn's hanging out with us today. Hey, Lynn, hope you're doing well. All right, you guys, let's see. It looks like Doug gave me the first number over on YouTube. He said number 1. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the review for site number 1. So let me get that website pulled up really quick, and then I'll get 15 minutes up on the clock for you guys, and we will get it started. So let me grab this over here. It looks, ooh, this is going to be a rough one for me to pronounce. You guys, if you start hanging out with us too often, you'll get to realize that I struggle with names, and I'm totally okay with you correcting me and making fun of me. Okay, this is it G Calentez photography.zenfolio.com. Let me copy this URL. I'm going to throw it in here for you guys in Zoom so you guys have a copy of that URL. And then I'm going to come over here and throw it out in YouTube so you guys can have a copy of that URL as well. Okay, we're going to get 15 minutes up on the clock and we will get this review party started. Hopefully my timer actually works today. There we go. Looks like it's going to hang out with us. All right, I think it's G Calentez Photography. Calentez, is that how you guys would say it? Somebody spell it out for me in the chat. Katie, let's spell it out for me in the chat. Calentez Photography. So we're going to get started right here. Let me just pull this down so you guys can kind of see right up here. So I always talk about this. You guys will hear me talk about this almost every single week on Site Review Tuesday because it is so important. Again, we just kind of have the business name up here in this top thing right here. And it doesn't really matter in a sense of this particular section, but this name that's up in the top is actually pulling from your website title. And that is something that we set up when we first create our site, and then we usually never go back and review it, right? But that is so important because that is super helpful for your SEO. So when you are setting up your site, or if you're looking at this and you're watching this and you're like, I wonder what it says at the top of my browser tab. Let me go look. And that just says your business or your studio name. This is something that you want to go back and change, because right now, if you hop over to Google and you do a search for, I don't know, landscape photographer near me, those bold headers that you see pop up on search results, guess where that's coming from? That is your site title. And that's right now what your site title is right here. I think this is George. Yeah, George. So this is your site title. So the only really useful word that's in there is photography. So definitely think about adding extra information in there. Okay, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here because I always talk about that. Let me just see if I can't give this move back up. There we go. Okay, So just moving down here, absolutely really beautiful homepage image. Looks like it's just kind of the static image, not really changing, not really going anywhere. I think that that's fine, especially if this is the type of photography that this entire website is dedicated to, right? If you're doing client photography, it is nice to kind of show a little bit of portfolio preview on your homepage, have a slideshow going, something like that. But for this type of work, I think that this is nice and clean. It really complements the rest of the website, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. So let's go ahead and talk about the logo really quick, kind of a script, like what do you call that? Like a signature logo. I think that that's perfectly fine. And I really like the color theme, kind of everything is matching together. So I'm gonna give you a big thumbs up for this homepage. I really like its simplicity. I really like the way that it's set up. My timer is kind of in the way. So let me see if I can move it out of the way. Let's read the rest of this here. So my landscape photography site, my current portfolio is primarily composed of landscape found in Western United States, most notably Southern Utah and many locations across Montana. So good job having those specific locations mentioned in there. Now, just to give you a quick idea, that is the welcome message that you're using there. And the welcome message allows you to link directly in the welcome message. And the reason that I bring that up is because you mentioned these specific locations. And within that welcome message, you could highlight these specific texts right here and link them to galleries within your site for that particular location. So found in the Western United States, most notably Southern Utah. And that could be a hot link that I could click on just to go directly to that gallery. Not a huge deal, but just an extra benefit that you can do there in the welcome message. That's super helpful for SEO, super helpful for navigation and visitor navigation. Okay, let's go up here and let's just kind of follow along the rest of this site. So let me get my timer back over here and let's just go ahead and check out your portfolio. So we're clicking on the portfolio. And immediately this is taking us to this group, which is called photo galleries. So a couple of things here. I would definitely love to see a portfolio drop down because right away with this type of navigation, as a visitor, I'm going to have to click into each one of these, come back out, go back to this page, and then click into the next portfolio. Not that that's a huge deal, but we have to consider the length of people's attention spans these days, right? And so if I'm constantly having to click, go back, that's a little bit more time that I want to spend on a website. So you could simplify this navigation experience by utilizing a drop-down menu and having this hover right here where a portfolio hovers, and then we see new releases, colored landscape collection, black and white, and the rest of these options that are here. So always thinking about how can I set up my site to get my visitors to where they want to go and where I want them to go as quick as possible. And utilizing a drop-down menu allows you to do that. Now, if you want to keep this group navigation, that's fine as well. You could do that. I would definitely suggest that you think about some things. Adding a caption to the group lets you put in text information. You can talk about the different locations in here. Anywhere you can have text and drop specific keywords in that text is going to be super helpful as well. And then one of the things that I always say is let's talk about our titles of the galleries and the groups a little bit more. Right. So whenever you're titling your groups, your galleries, and anything like that, don't just think about, okay, well, I need to call it this so that I know that's what it's for in my internal organization, but think about this as information that visitors are going to see, as we're seeing right now up here. We're seeing the title of that group, but also this is information that search engines are going to see, right? So how can you not only provide visitors with more information in that group or gallery title, but also provide search engines with more information in there as well? Right? Mentioning specific locations. You could say, this is my landscape and travel photography portfolio. Something just that simple, adding those extra words can make a difference. All right, let's go ahead and check out a gallery really quick. So we're just going to hop into this one, and then I'll kind of show you guys what I'm talking about that navigation. So now once we want to go back and look at a different gallery, we have to click back on portfolio. Now let's just take a minute to appreciate these amazing images. These photos are absolutely beautiful, like just gorgeous. I love doing like urban exploration photography. That's my primary passion when it comes to photography. And these photos are absolutely gorgeous. And you do have a caption set up right over here. So now that we're in the gallery, you do have a caption set up right over here. Let's see, I shoot hundreds of images each month. I carefully curate, publish not only those that have special meaning, represent with a handful of exceptions. Okay, so that information, that caption is fine. It's really visitor specific information. You are kind of explaining what the purpose of this new release in here. But I would maybe think about adding a little bit strategic keywords in that text, right? I shoot hundreds of landscape and travel photos every year, something like that. So just changing the way you word things. It might feel like you're saying those words a little bit redundantly. I know we're all taught to be like, okay, once you use this word once, you need to try to change the way you say it or type it up differently. But in this case, just adding that information here is going to be helpful. Also, if you have a gallery that has images from a specific like state park or a very specific location that has a website that you can link to, in that caption, you can link to that stuff as well. And those links back and forth are super helpful for your SEO as well. Now you do have this categorized and keyworded all right down here, and it's showing, so big thumbs up to you for that. A lot of people categorize, they keyword all this stuff, but then they hide this, and that's because you don't realize that in order for Google to actually take this information into account and rank your site and have it start showing up in search results based on this information, you actually have to have it showing here on your site. So nice job here having all that information show. Now, typically, I'm not a huge fan of this kind of sidebar setup. It does kind of, for me, create an awkward positioning when you scroll past the images down here. As you guys can kind of see, it does kind of create this little awkward space over here where these images are all kind of shoved to the left, and now there's this kind of dead, empty space here. If this gallery was smaller, if there were fewer images in here and it didn't really proceed past this point, it wouldn't be too bad. But as you can see, we do proceed past it quite a bit. So you might think about changing your layout just a little bit. You can definitely show the caption like above the top here. The categories and keywords can actually be down here below, and they can be hidden as well with this little collapse thing right here. So they don't have to be showing by default, and you'll still get the benefit of them showing. So something to think about there, setting that up. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and just kind of look at some more of these images because they are absolutely beautiful. Some of the things you might think about is you can show the image titles on here, and you can show your file names as image titles. Now, why does that stuff matter? Again, anywhere you can add extra text, it's going to help your site be searchable. So for this type of photography, I would definitely not recommend showing your file names. Nobody is going to care that this is image dsc.00125.jpg or whatever your file name methods are. So if you title your images, you can show those as well. And then you can have that specific location and title information showing down here. And that, again, is helping with your SEO, right? Because just having a nicely set up website and having beautiful images doesn't get people to your website. That is why, you guys, I spend so much time talking about SEO, because you can have the best looking website out there with the best photos, but if nobody is getting to your website to see those images, it doesn't really matter. And that's why I spend so much time repeatedly talking about this stuff, because I really want to drive home how important this stuff is. Okay, let's go back up, and now let's take a look at that navigation I was talking about. So I have to click back on portfolio. All right, and then I kind of have to go to another gallery. Now, not too bad, but if you think about traveling through all of those galleries, that extra clicking around could get a little annoying when this could just be a little hover drop-down menu that would take me directly to the next one. All right. So let's keep going down here. Let's take a look at this. Again, as people are saying both on YouTube chat, that the images are just absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at this right here. And I don't know where that cover photo went, but that orange tree, right? Is it that one? What was the cover photo? It was like some orange right here. This one is just absolutely beautiful. I would love to know where that particular photo was taken, right? And again, that's where image titles can come into play, right? Is you could have that information in here, because there could be somebody looking specifically for photos of that particular place. And if you have that information in text in the title, then that's searchable, and you can help people find your images if they're looking for images of that particular place. So something to think about. Let's go up here. It looks like you have the same setup though. So 2 thumbs up for consistency. A lot of times I go to these sites and we go from portfolio to different pages and we see colors change. We see the layout change. So far, everything is looking consistent. And one of the reasons that's so important is because you need to build visitor familiarity with your site, right? When somebody goes to one of your portfolio galleries and they're looking at it and they figure out how to navigate, and then they travel to the next portfolio gallery, we shouldn't have a different layout with different colors to figure out, right? You want to establish visitor familiarity and make sure that from page to page to page to page, once they got through that first page, like, okay, this is how the navigation works. This is how it's set up. This is super easy, super intuitive. I don't have a lot of things that I have to figure out. It's all consistent all the way through, and that's really important. So nice job there. Let's go. Let's just take a look and see what's happening when we click one of these images, because one of the things that I have noticed is I have not been able to purchase any of these images yet. So you have some beautiful photos. You are keywording, categorizing them, but I don't see you utilizing Zenfolio's e-commerce feature. So it looks like somebody has to maybe contact you. Is that somewhere? Is that written somewhere? To inquire about any of my images, please contact me by clicking on the contact tab above. Okay, so you do have it written over here, but again, Zenfolio does have some pretty powerful built-in e-commerce tools that you could easily make available here and really have your prints and your images be sold through our e-commerce features and be super, super easy to set up. Let's go check out your about page really quick. Okay, and it looks like this page design has actually changed a little bit. So back to talking about consistency. Take a look at the background. We're kind of used to all the background being black, all of that, and then we kind of switch over to this. Now, thumbs up having an about photo. I go to so many photographers' websites. I click on that about button, and then I see like a landscape photo or an image of their camera. I see basically everything except for what I'm actually looking for, which is an image of you, the photographer. So nice job having that there. Let's see, my photography style has also evolved last year. Smaller segments. Nice. Okay. So I think this is a good start. You could definitely offer a little bit more information here. I would love to know why you are so passionate about landscape photography. What are some of your favorite places to photograph some of your favorite images? Do you have any particular images that have a really interesting story that you could put here, right? So again, this about page, you're letting people know about you, but it's another place that you can have text information that is searchable. So you could talk about some of your favorite photos, why you're so passionate about landscape photography, maybe how, if you've had any clients like have testimonials of your images and maybe purchase them for their home or their business or something like that, you could include that kind of information here. Just a little bit more information. Again, all circling back to kind of search engine. Want to see some information in here that will really help you in search. All right, that sound means my time is up. So I'm going to stop the timer and we're going to go ahead and grab the, as soon as I can get this all kind of squared back away really quick here. Let's see, there we go. We're going to grab the next site really quick. It makes it so difficult. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're going to go grab the next site really quick. Let's see. You guys, somebody in Zoom, throw a number out for me really quick. 200 to 311. Somebody in Zoom or on YouTube, whoever gets it out in the chat first will be the next site that we review, because I totally forgot to ask for it really quick. So somebody throw a number out either on YouTube or on Zoom or our YouTube chat there for me for the next website really quick. All right, looks like, so I know you told me Atala. Hey, Atala. So it looks like, no, that wasn't Atala. It was Brian or Brianna. Man, you guys, I'm doing bad today. Brianna put 217 in there. Photography by Ginger. You just missed it by a second. Sorry. You just missed it by a second, but looks like Brianna said 217. So we're going to grab site 217. We'll start the review for that one. If you guys haven't submitted your website yet to be reviewed, after this one, I'm going to take a quick break and then we will come back and review one of your guys' sites who are hanging out with us live. So let me see. So I'm looking for site 217. Thank you, Brianna, for throwing that number out there. Site 217 looks like it is. Oh man. Okay. You guys like to pick the ones that's hard for me to pronounce. I got it. That's cool. I'll roll with it. Okay. So let me see if I can say this correctly. Right here, is that fortuitous? Is that how you say it? Somebody let me know. Is it fortuitous photography, I think, is the right way to say that. That's pretty sad. You guys can totally make fun of me. So I'm going to throw the link out to you guys there on Zoom, and I'll get it out there to you guys in chat. We will get those 15 minutes up on the clock again, and we will get this review started there. Fortuitous. Thank you, Katie. So this is why she hangs out with me, because she knows that I'm going to struggle with pronouncing these things, and she has to help me out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock. Let me get my timer started. I threw the link out in chat for you guys. Here we go. Okay, so just starting out right here, immediately, one of the first things that I notice is this homepage slideshow. Now, I'm a huge fan of the homepage slideshows. I think that they're a really nice way to display your images. They're really a nice way to really put your images front and center and show a mixture of the type of photography that you do. But you have to be strategic with how to present, or with the images that you are selecting for your homepage slideshow, especially when it's a full screen slideshow like this one. So as you guys are probably noticing, we are seeing some images that are kind of appearing to be cropped off. So I want to explain how and why this happens with this full screen slideshow. When you think about the orientation of most of the monitors that we are viewing on today, right? They are landscape orientated, 16:9, maybe some of them, but they're landscape orientated, right? And so this full screen homepage slideshow, what this does is it takes the images that you have selected and put in a gallery or something like that, however you're kind of linking that content. But it takes those images and it basically takes them and brings them up so that the width of the image fits the width of the screen, right? And again, in that case, it's going to be a landscape orientation. So when it fits the width of the screen, if the photo or that particular image is a portrait oriented image, naturally what happens is some of that image gets cropped off, right? There is no way to take a portrait oriented image and show it full screen in a landscape oriented environment without either cropping the image off or force fitting it to not fit the entire width of the screen. Okay. And so when it comes to these full screen slideshows, what you need to do, the easiest route to handle this is to make sure that you're just picking landscape orientated photos. Now, I'm not saying landscape is in the subject matter being landscape. I'm saying landscape is in the orientation. So making sure that you're using only horizontal orientated images in your home screen slideshow, your home page slideshow. The other way that you could handle it as well is if you want to show portrait oriented images, which as a portrait photographer, it's nice to have that orientation mixed up in there. Yes, sometimes we do shoot horizontal images, but a lot of times our portraits are going to be vertical depending on the subject. And so it's nice to show that in its actual correct orientation. And so the other thing that you can do is you can create a quick collage, right? What I have found is that usually with minimal cropping, you can take 3 portrait oriented images and kind of set them together side by side and kind of make a collage that will fit the same dimensions as a landscape oriented image. And then you just export those out of Photoshop and put those in your homepage gallery. Okay, and so that is what I would suggest that you do, is go back to these images and either remove all of the portrait oriented images or get those portrait oriented images, pull them in Photoshop and make them a collage style image where there's 3 portrait images next to each other, and then export those and put those in your homepage slideshow gallery. Now, the final option that you could do is you could transfer this from being a full screen slideshow over to being a what we call a photo strip. I know you guys have seen that option before here on Site Review Tuesday. A photo strip, basically what it does is it takes all of the images that you have in that particular gallery that you're using and force fits it to fit the screen. It just is not an automatic slider. It does require some interaction from your visitor. So if this was a portrait oriented image, it would force fit it down to fit the screen, and then it would have the other images kind of next to it. But then your visitors would actually have to manually kind of interact with that to see the images. It doesn't do it automatically. They have to slide back and forth across the screen. Okay, I know I spent a lot of time on that, but that was the first thing that I noticed. Now, as Lynn is saying on YouTube, some absolutely cool images so far. And he loves seeing the definition over here, like he said, like serendipity. So I think that's really cool. That's actually a great movie. I probably just showed my nerd side a little bit, but that's a great movie. But yeah, so this is pretty cool having kind of the definition over here. I think that's really cool. The other thing that I want to point out too is that I love that you've kind of taken the fortune cookie approach to your logo. We kind of have it. This looks like, I'm probably going to say it wrong. It's either Japanese or Chinese lettering style looking here. It kind of looks like a fortune cookie. One of the things that I might recommend is that if you're going to show this here, maybe get the logo out of this space right here, since you already have it up here. And then for me, the logo is a little hard to read, specifically this section right over here. So my suggestion on this, I think that it's a cool logo. I would only change one thing. I would take all of the text and I would reverse this logo. I would scoot this over here, bring the text to the right side of that, and then bring it up so that it's as tall as that is, and that otherwise it will be wider as well. That way we can actually see the text a little bit more. So that is just my suggestion on the logo. I think that it's pretty cool. I love that you're taking the whole fortune cookie approach. I think that's a really unique and cool design. So nice job there, and nice job having this here. Now I'm seeing some absolutely beautiful images here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of your site here. So we're going to go to portfolio and just click right on the word portfolio. Now, again, we're not having any kind of drop down menu. So there's not a hover and like drop down to get us directly to different things. And looks like now that I clicked on this, that portfolio is actually linking to your all photographs. So unless you've changed something on your Zenfolio site, it looks like I now have access to everything that's within your account. Now, all of these images right now are gray, which means we're probably looking at, which we should be at the all photographs. We're looking at kind of the master folder view, and we're seeing all of your subfolders. And so that's why these images are appearing gray, because unless you've actually went in there and distinctively set up custom thumbnails for your folders or your groups, these images are just going to appear kind of square and gray. Now, personally, and I think a lot of people would say this as well, I think that it is a very, not a very good idea to have public access to your all photographs group. The reason that I say that is because you are probably going to want to have client galleries that are kind of password protected and private. You also might want to be uploading some of your own stuff that's not really for public access. It's maybe just like storage that you want to kind of have separated out. So personally, I would recommend to never, ever, ever link to the all photographs group. Personally, I would recommend to never link to that, because you're going to want to have stuff kind of kept separate and safe from the public, right? With that being said, I think I'm going to try and click on something that may be safe, because I have no idea if these are client galleries. I just know that I can access them publicly. So I'm going to try to click on something I think would be safe and maybe go with engagements, just in case these are client galleries. I don't want to kind of expose anything. So let's go click on engagements really quick, and let's just take a look at that. Okay, so it does look like these are client galleries. It looks like a couple of these are public. And again, as I was saying, the reason that we were seeing gray kind of folders or squares right here is because these are all groups that have not had a custom thumbnail assigned. So when you create a group, even if you put galleries of images inside of that, you still actually have to manually assign a thumbnail to that group. That's why once I'm clicking on this, we're actually seeing images in here. Okay, so it looks like these are indeed client galleries. And so I just want to kind of point something out here. I want you to think about this website from a visitor's perspective. Let's pretend that I am looking for a photographer. I have no idea about your website, about Zenfolio, about you as a photographer, or anything like that. But I have come across your website in my search to look and hire for a photographer. Okay. And I've landed on your homepage. And I'm kind of seeing some of these images that are cropped off, some of these that look a little weird. And so let's think about this from a visitor's perspective of this is the first time they are interacting with your website and you and your business, right? So that is why, again, we want to go back to being strategic with selecting those images, right? Making sure that we're choosing images that display our best work, that fit and work really well in this space. But then let's think a little bit further ahead. So now I've looked at your images and let's say, okay, I see their work. It looks like some of the images maybe are being blown up or something. But the other photos I see I really like. I think that they're cool. So I want to go check out the rest of their portfolio, right? So I want to go see more examples of their work. So I click on portfolio. And then just think about this from a visitor's perspective here. So I click on portfolio, and now I'm kind of dropped into this all photographs where I see all of these different options that are slightly confusing. Again, thinking about it from a visitor's perspective, not really having any introduction to your business, not knowing much about you or the website or anything like that. And so I'm kind of dropped into this. And then from there, I click on engagements. And now I'm getting to these galleries where I can finally see some information if the visitor makes it that far. Now, again, here we are seeing, I know that these are client galleries, the visitor might not, but they're probably going to be wondering, well, why can I see some of these and why does this have stars on it? Well, that has stars on it because it is a gallery that's password protected. So I say all that to say this: think about your visitors, the people who are interacting with your company, your business, your photography for the first time. How are you going to set up your website to make sure that they can get in and find the things that they are looking for as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible, right? If I'm looking for an engagement photographer, I don't want to have to thumb through client galleries. I might think in my mind that it would be cool to see actual client galleries. But what you need to do as a photographer is create an actual engagement portfolio where you are cherry picking your best work of your engagement shoots and putting them in a quick to access gallery that I can access from a drop down and get really quickly. Basically, you need to control my experience as a visitor and show me what you want to show me instead of kind of giving me this, I have to search and find for things. So something to think about. Okay, so now that we're in here, let's click on a gallery and take a look. Let's go to this one right down here because I'm assuming that you might have your galleries. Okay, and now it's password protected. So again, thinking back to the client experience or the visitor experience, right? Again, I've never seen your photography. I've just seen what's on the homepage. I navigated in here, got to engagements, and now I'm trying to actually see more than just a couple of photos. And the one on the right-hand side was kind of password protected. And then the bottom one was password protected. And now I'm here and this is the first time that I've loaded it. Maybe my internet's a little bit slow. Maybe there are issues going on. But rather than you handpicking the best images from this shoot, I'm now having to wait on the entire shoot to load, right? And depending on my internet speed, depending on what's going on, that could become a very bad experience for somebody really quickly. So again, that is why it's so important to set up those portfolios and to control that visitor experience, right? You want to take them to the places you want them to go and present the information that you want. You want to control their perspective of your business. And the way that you do that is through the setup that you put into your portfolio and thinking about that. Okay, let's go ahead and cruise to the rest of your site because I have a feeling the rest of this is going to be kind of the same. So now we've clicked on about. I feel like I've navigated to an entirely different site. Like what I've seen of your work, you have some nice work. I love the fortune cookie logo design that you have going on. And it says right here that this site is still under construction and changing regularly. So I totally get that. But I would love to see some consistency there. And then again, that portfolio setup is really the biggest thing for me. Guys, we got like a minute and 30 seconds left in this review. So if you haven't submitted your site for review yet, those links should be in the chat. Make sure that you get those submitted so we can get those, get your site reviewed today. So let's see. Thumbs up having an about photo of yourself. I love this about photo. I think it's really cool. Thank you for much stopping by. It's cliche to say, but I appreciate this. The other thing is that I'm not 100% sure where you're located right now. So thinking about that again, as well as the information that you're presenting to visitors, right? One of the things you want to let them know right out the gate is that you do service their area. And right now I'm kind of having this huge thing of text that I kind of have to read through when I might just be looking for that specific information. Let's go to your investment details really quick. All right, this looks like a custom page. Nicely done. Again, we're kind of going back to it feels like a different site. Now, this is more consistent with what we were seeing earlier. I definitely like this look better. So I think you probably just want to come to your about page and make sure that you set that theme to match the default theme of the rest of your site. I definitely feel like this kind of matches the theme of things better. Let's go to your, so that's confusing to me because we have clients and portfolio. Portfolio went to all photographs. Let's see if clients go somewhere different really quick, just out of curiosity. Okay, let me stop the timer. I'm out of time. It looks like this clients page went to the client access page where your clients kind of have to enter a gallery. So I definitely think client access is good to use. Just again, it feels like we went to a different site. For me, that portfolio, definitely think about that experience to your visitors. Let's get that navigation much more streamlined. Let's control the perspective that we're presenting to our visitors for the first time they interact with us in our business. But thank you so much for submitting your site, and hopefully I gave you some good pointers. We're not going to, but I'm going to take a quick break here in just a few seconds. I'm going to get some tea. You guys, if you haven't submitted your site to be reviewed yet, make sure that you click that link. I think that Katie just threw it into YouTube chat and also into Zoom. So when I come back, I'm going to be reviewing one of your guys' sites who's hanging out with us live. So this is your last chance. You have like a few seconds to get it in there and get it submitted. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Katie, take a quick break, and then I'll be back and we'll review that site from one of you guys. So go ahead, take it away, Katie.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Site Review Tuesday. It's nice to see familiar faces and new faces as always. This is Katie, your mod on Site Review Tuesday. I'm so glad that you've joined us to learn more about the Zenfolio tools you have available to optimize your site. Me and the rest of the moderators are in charge of handing out giveaways to you all during our broadcast. So I hope that you will keep an eye out and continue to join us so that you get a chance to win some money to put in your account. Also, if you find this helpful, we really love hearing from you all. It warms all of our hearts, and word gets around all over Zenfolio when we get nice reviews on Facebook and Google. So if you have the time and you find your experience here on YouTube or with Zoom useful for your use of your Zenfolio account, we hope to hear from you on Facebook and or Google. And please also, if you are joining us on YouTube, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and show Robert some love by leaving us those kind reviews so that we can keep Robert the healthy, happy, positive personality that he brings to us every Tuesday and Thursday with his green tea or his Earl Grey tea or whatever he's decided to drink today. So again, I hope that you all are finding this helpful, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to help you all in chat. Of course, if you ever have any questions, please post them in the chat. I'm happy to help you with anything, even if I just need to send you on to our amazing support team so that they can dig in your account and get you what you need. So thank you, Lynn. Thank you. I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors. I didn't make the quilt. My Atala asked if I made the quilt. No, my great grandmother made this quilt for me. I'm named after her, so it feels like a really special quilt. Oh, thank you, Lee. Everyone is saying such nice things. I don't think I'll let Robert back. You guys can just keep giving me nice compliments. Thank you. Thank you. That's so nice. It is a beautiful quilt. She was like a master seamstress. So, it's one of those things that comes up for us, right? It's like the beautiful things that our ancestors have made that we cherish through time. So the fact that you're doing photography, that a lot of you are doing photography for families, means that those families have things that they can cherish and connect with their ancestors over time. So it's very cool. It's very cool what we're all doing. I love that we're able to help you with your sites so that you can keep being photographers. It's a very special art. And hopefully Robert is waiting in the wings, ready to take this back from me, as much as I love being live for you all. Oh, there he is. Thanks,
Thank you,
Robert.
Katie. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Katie, for hanging out with me too. I appreciate you so much. All right. Thank you guys again. Isn't Katie wonderful? She is such a huge help to me. I really appreciate her. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this week's live chat audience site review. So let me grab it. And funny enough, the random site that was picked, and I think I can say it right this time. You wrote it for me in the chat, so I think I can say it right. I'm going to go back up and read it again just to boost my confidence in the pronunciation. Attila Toy.com is today's live viewer or live audience site review. So let me get her site pulled up over here. Let me get my screen share back on. There we go. All right. I'm going to throw this link out for you guys in chat there on Zoom and on YouTube. Super excited about this one. Who's jumping on here? People are jumping on here saying hi. Hey, Camper 800. So love the lipstick color, Katie. Absolutely. And Jeanette Stewart said, hi, Robert. Hey, Jeanette, thanks for jumping on and hanging out with us on YouTube. Okay, let's go ahead and get 15 minutes up for this review. I'm super excited about this one. I remember talking to you on a Zoom call, Attila. So I remember Nature Spirit Photography and being like, what is that? And then you sent me the link and I remember this now. Really cool. Super excited. All right, let's go ahead and get that 15 minutes going and we will just get the review started. Okay, so I threw the link out in chat for you guys. So starting here out the gate, I love the signature design logo, Nature Spirit Photography. Like how cool is that, you guys? And be real in chat. How many of you guys have actually heard of Nature Spirit Photography before? I had never heard of it. Did a Zoom call with Attila. I think we were doing sales training, and she sent me this over and I was like, wow, I'd never heard of this before. It's really cool. So I'm super excited, but really cool logo. I love the kind of the text here. You do have it kind of double presented here. Not that that's a big deal, but you do also have two site navigations going right here that are kind of exactly the same. So you might think about, for this homepage at least, maybe turning your header off. Now you can do that by going into the customize view of the homepage, going to options, and you can turn just this header menu off for the homepage. So that way it kind of shows just this section. Or usually what I prefer and what I recommend is to leave that header on, because that header menu can actually be used across the rest of your entire website. And it's nice, again, to establish visitor user familiarity with your site, that navigation being one of those things. So the homepage menu, which is this right here, that can actually only be used on the homepage. And so a lot of times I tell people, turn your homepage logo, turn your homepage menu off, just show your site header on the homepage, and that way your navigation, your logo, and all of that stuff stays exactly the same as we traverse through your website, if that's what you want. Now, if you like having the different looks as we go through different galleries, then you can achieve that by using the homepage menu and logo on your homepage and then using the header later on. But that would kind of get rid of this double navigation, double logo, and it's going to bring your images up higher, because then either this space is going away or this space is going away and these images are moving up. So just a suggestion there. Let's go ahead and kind of scroll down here a little bit. Another thing as well is that you have your social media icons here. So they're also showing over here as well. You could get rid of them here. You could maybe choose a layout that centers up this welcome message a little bit. Nature, spirits, and beings of other realms coexist with us on Earth. I would listen to their stories, take documentary photographs at their request, visit the galleries for, so right here, look at that, 2 thumbs up, links in the welcome message, just what I was talking about on the previous site review. So nice job utilizing that welcome message and actually putting links in there and making that text usable. Love, love, love this. So going back up, let's just kind of take a look at some of these images really quick. Let's go back to the start of this. One of the things that I will point out is that this particular slideshow, you guys might notice that this one is showing these portrait oriented images in whole and not cropping them off like we were seeing earlier. However, when we get to some of the landscape or horizontal orientated images, they kind of appear in a little bit of a smaller fashion. They're not across the screen. That's because this is a different type of homepage layout that's using, I think it's probably going to be called either a spotlight slideshow. I think is what we're calling that still. Not sure exactly, but I think that's still what that's being called. And that particular slideshow doesn't use the entire screen. So that's why the images are appearing there without being cropped off. I think that this works great for you. Usually I don't like this because of the kind of weird, awkward space that we're left when we see a vertical image. At least you do have the background turned off, so it is transparent. There's not like a weird black there or white there or something like that. So you've set this up really nicely for what it is. I think you've done the best job that you could do with that particular slideshow option. And again, look at these photos, you guys. These are just incredible. Like, these are things that we probably just walk by without a second thought all the time. And she's captured these, started telling stories and documenting them. I love, 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 love this genre. Okay, let's go and let's take a look at your galleries. So I'm super excited about that. Now, one of the things I do want to show, let me bring this down really quick, is that did open up another tab. Now, you can have that open up into another tab if you want, although I typically don't recommend it when that link is still keeping us inside of your Zenfolio account, because now we have this tab and we have this tab, and then I wonder what's going to happen when we go to another tab. Are we going to open up, if I go to blog? Okay, so blog is staying in the same tab. So that might just have been a miss right there, but I would definitely recommend this galleries option doesn't open up in a new tab like it's doing right now, because we have the Zenfolio navigation. We're not leaving the website. So it's kind of just creating an extra tab on our browser, which I don't know about you guys, but at the end of the day, I end up with like 30 of these things, and it's super annoying sometimes. And so just something to think about there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Really cool banner. Love the banner here. I think I would love to see, so this is just a personal suggestion. I would love to see a story in here maybe, or something of, I don't know. I just think this is a beautiful image. It's a really good place to put kind of a story or some text or something like that, just talking about what you do and about nature, spirit, and that kind of thing. But let's go down. And so taking a look here, this is a group page that we're landing on. Now, going back to the navigation experience for your visitors, as I'm clicking through these, I'm always going to have to come back to the galleries. So let me just kind of show you the result of what's going to happen with this current setup. Okay. So, and I'm going to bring this down just so you can kind of see this and you'll see exactly what I mean. So we're going to start from the home page, and we're going to go to galleries, and we're going to end up with a new tab. Okay. And then in that new tab, we're going to scroll down. We're going to click on a gallery to view. And then in order to get back to the previous galleries, we can click here. Hopefully if the visitor sees that and they think about clicking here, but most likely they're probably going to go back to what they already know how to use, which is this gallery option right here. So then watch what happens. New tab. Okay. And then we go down and we choose another gallery. And then we go back up, new tab. So when I talk about that navigational experience, about making it not confusing, these are the kinds of things that I really like to drive home, is that this could really easily be a drop down that instead of having all these new tabs opened, anytime I wanted to go to a different gallery, I could just hover back over this and go directly to the drop down of the gallery that I wanted to visit. Therefore, speeding up that navigation, also eliminating all of those extra tabs that keep getting opened every time I do that. So something to think about there. Okay, let's actually go in and take a look at the gallery though. Now that we've kind of talked about that, let's go in and take a look at this image. So in here, this is, let's just click on that. And then Arizona Rock Spirits. Okay, nice. So these are actually sub galleries. So these are kind of groups that are set up in here. So these are kind of sub galleries or groups or however you want to call them. We call them kind of groups or galleries or whatever in Zenfolio. But basically, here's Arizona Rock Spirits, Colorado Rock Spirits. I love that you're using the caption up here. I think that that is beautiful, wonderful use. You might think about linking to these specific places. I don't know if you've reached out to any of these specific locations, maybe have websites, try to do some linking back and forth. That's super helpful as well. But let's go in here and let's take a look at this stuff, because these are just super exciting. Much of Arizona is desert, with the mountain islands rising high. Stone beings called hoodoos by locals populate many of the mountains and canyons. The purpose and messages are many. Nice. So this is really interesting. So a couple of things here. I do feel like the images are a little small. And one thing you have to be careful of when you're using small thumbnail images is that when you're using small thumbnail images, sometimes they can appear to be a little bit more contrasty and saturated. Excuse me. That's just the nature of smaller images. Sometimes they can appear to be a little bit more saturated and contrasty. And so I might consider going in here and bringing the size of these thumbnails up just a little bit larger. But let's click on some of these and actually take a look. All right, let's see here. So we got this, and we have right over here. So nice job having this set up. Now, one of the things that I would probably consider is maybe doing away with this visit shop option, right? Because people who come in here, when they click on visit shop, a lot of times they anticipate to see extra options. And if you don't have extra options in the visit shop, then you've kind of created this point of contention where people are like, well, what is the benefit of visit shop if I just have everything here? So you can turn this option off and just use the quick shop buying experience. And in your case, it looks like you have this price list really well thought out, super simple, not a lot of options. The quick shop option right here is going to work really well for you. So you could definitely turn this off. But I love the fact that you're using the caption. I want to see if I'm seeing any kind of categories and keywords. So I am down here. So down here, we are seeing categories and keywords. Now, these particular categories and keywords are coming from the gallery. When I click on an image, the image can also have keywords and categories, which I'm not seeing. So you might want to think about going into the quick shop setting, making sure that the keywords and categories show up. So again, it's just going to improve your searchability and the SEO of the site. So something to think about there. Sorry, you guys, I keep getting choked up on something. All right, we're going to go back and let's just see beautiful images though. Just like if you didn't want to get out of your house and go travel and search and do adventurous things and explore nature, I don't know how you don't want to do that right now, because that's all that I want to do after looking at these photos is like get out of the house, go for a hike or something, go to find some kind of adventure, because that is what these photos are making me want to do. Very beautiful photos, very, very strong images. I'm ready to go outside. Let's see here. Warriors. So again, nice consistent setup. I think that the navigation is easy here. Once we get in here, I like that you're using the quick shop. The visit shop option, not a huge thing, but something to think about. Let's go ahead and let's go back to galleries and let's take a look at a couple more galleries really quick. Let's see here. Animal Spirit. Let's go check out your Animal Spirit gallery. All right. So, and this is a thing too. All right. You do kind of have this galleries with all of these subcategories. All right. I don't know how many subcategories we have here, but you have a lot of space on your site menu. So you could have 3 different drop down menus. You could have nature, spirit, and then as we hit that, different options to different galleries. You could have animal, spirit, and then as we hit that different drop down options, you could have what was it, like photo stories, I think I saw. So you could have that information in the navigation up here as well. So we're not having to do this kind of browse through all of these different sub galleries. We could have the little drop downs right up here. Let's check out that animal spirit really quick though. We got like 2 minutes left. So I definitely want to get into your photo stories that I saw down here, but who love coyotes. Let's go to the owls though, because my wife is a huge owl fan, and anytime I see owls, I have to check out the photos. Look at this, just beautiful photos. Super consistent site. I love that you're keeping it so consistent. I don't have a lot of big complaints other than, and really not complaints, constructive criticism, other than that navigation of the galleries, right? Just thinking about that experience, how you can make it more efficient, quicker, easier to access. And then that dual menu on the homepage, those would be the 2 things that I would really look at right away to kind of fix up a little bit. But other than that, I think that this is great. I think the consistency is nice. You're utilizing categories and keywords. You're also utilizing your captions up here. So really cool setup, really nicely done. Everything is consistent. Let's go and take a look at your, what was it, nature's, or was it nature photo stories? Is that the last one that I saw down here? Photo stories. Yeah, let's go take a look at that. Ooh, messages and fun. That looks cool too. All right, love story. So I'm interested to see what this is. This is a love story. I've gone to photograph over 10 years. It shows the love, devotion, sense, loss of grief, and surrender that occurs throughout the universe. No matter the life form, it is the story of a blossom who loved a birch. Ah, wow. That's pretty interesting. So it's a love story between the 2 trees that you've got and photographed over a period of 10 years. This is pretty interesting. Just amazing. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in the images. Just a really cool story. I love this. Love this so much. Really cool. Okay. Let's go up here and let's look at your about really quick. I just want to see the about, see what's on the about page. I know I've only got like 9 seconds left, you guys. So let's see what's on the about. Oh, let me stop the timer. Come on, there we go. Okay, oh, look at this. Again, fantastic. Thumbs up for having your about photo on here. I love that you're in the image. This is an amazing about photo, really cool photo. It just tells you in an image, which is what an about photo is supposed to do. A nature photographer, you talk about why you specialize in it. You talk about different things in here occasionally. Very cool. I am super impressed. Again, just those few things that I mentioned, but thank you so much for sharing your images, your website with us. Thank you everybody for sharing your websites with us for review. Hopefully I gave all of you guys some really good pointers, some good constructive criticism, some good feedback, some things that you can look at. For yours, again, I would go back and look at that menu on the homepage, and then also that navigation in the galleries is the 2 biggest things that I would think about for sure. Okay, well, hey guys, unfortunately we are out of time. I do want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined us today, whether you were hanging out with us on Zoom or hanging out with us over on YouTube. Let me shout some of you guys out really quick. Let's see. On Zoom, hanging out with us today. I don't know where my participant window went, so I'm just going to go back up here. Where'd you go, window? There you are. Attila, Brianna, Eduardo, Heidi, Steven, and the rest of you guys who hung out with us today. I really appreciate you guys. Doug on YouTube, Lynn, Janet, Home Phone, Photography by Ginger, Noel, Jennifer LaRoche, Anna, and let's see, everybody else that I missed. Thank you guys for hanging out with us there on YouTube and hanging out with us. Don't forget, you guys, I don't know why I did that. Don't forget, you guys, not Site Review Tuesday. Zenfolio Live is coming up this Thursday. We're going to be doing an interview with Sherry Warren of Warren Creative Design, talking about branding versus design, logo conceptualization, lots of things like that. So definitely a great live stream to go check out. That is this Thursday. And then we will be back here on Tuesday doing more site reviews. Make sure that you guys have a great rest of your week. Come back and hang out with us on Thursday. If you don't, that's fine. I still love you anyway. And if I don't see you guys on Thursday, make sure to have a wonderful weekend. Do something nice for somebody, encourage somebody, lift somebody up, and let's all work together to make the world a better place because it could really, really use it right now. I'll see you guys again on Thursday. Thank you for hanging out with me.